Testing 1 2. Test 1 2. Check check.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Are we live on our channel right now?
We're live everywhere, but it's showing the intro.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see you.
No, I'm
You know
saying,
where Ben's at?
can you see? Can you see? If you look down below, you'll see. We're on Twitch right now too. Just throwing out.
Okay, great. But still no Ben?
I don't see him yet. I sent you the link. Did you send it to
And
him?
I sent it to him.
Okay. Let me go grab my drink, and I will be right back.
Are you there?
I'm here.
I'm looking for Instagram. I'm on Instagram.com, but I don't have anything saying go live.
You have to press the live button on your channel. Remember?
No, I don't remember.
So Instagram Live, log into your account, go create, and then hit live.
Create live video.
Yeah.
Add a title. What was this one called? Maximize.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the banner here. There it is. Maximizing your customer acquisition.
Who's Tony Keese and how did he get in? Oh, that's on Facebook.
No, he's just he's viewing it as a.
Going, guys.
There he is. How are you, sir?
Good. How are
seeing
you?
I recognize
Good to see
you.
Well, I can't actually see you. That's one thing, but
Well, you're backstage right now, but you'll see us in just a moment.
perfect.
Yeah. So I'm Rob. I'll be kind of moderating along with KC.
Awesome.
Yeah. So,
What's happening, brother?
How's it
Spell
going?
acquisitions for me.
What's up?
ACQUISITION. It's right. Yeah.
I know, but
ACQU.
it didn't. You know what? Because I'm not there, it didn't look right.
Okay.
It just looked weird.
Yeah, I can't spell aluminum for some reason. I get it.
All right, so go live. Am I live now? I'm clicking. It's giving me the stream key. Go live with streaming software. Can't connect streaming to software to go live.
All right, hang on a second.
Didn't I have to give you the streaming key
Yeah,
before?
can you email me the stream key?
Yep,
Just email it because we're live now.
I'm doing it. We're live?
We are.
We are live. Hello, everybody. And my phone's blowing up already. I'm telling you, it's that popular. The show has gone crazy today. So, hello, all of my US DJ friends. We just emailed 67,000 people, something like that, about tonight's show.
Oh, damn.
So let's talk a little bit about US DJ and housekeeping. For all my Chicago DJs that are live, don't forget tomorrow night we have our monthly meetup, which is usually good for anywhere from, I'd say, in the low end, 50 people to 150 people. And so if you go to US DJ and click on live events, you'll be able to see us tomorrow. We have the representatives from American DJ, Elation, and Eliminator in the house. So I'm pretty excited about that. And if you're local, the owner of this proprietor, or the proprietor of this fine establishment, is even giving us free pizza.
Oh,
So my God, doesn't get much better than that.
I love free.
Yeah, so next month we are going to also in Chicago. We have a surprise guest that is yet to be confirmed, but it looks like we're going to have Reloop and Bass Boss in the house. And then we're going to be up in Milwaukee next month also at the Blizzard Pro / lighting office, along with JBL, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
And then in the month of November, we are going to be in Pittsburgh. We are going to be in New Jersey. We are going to be in Orlando, and we are going to be in Las Vegas at Wedding NBA. So we are everywhere that you are. And then we've still got a couple more DJ meetups that are happening. For those of you also in Chicago, tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 2, QSC is going to be here in Chicago. And I'll put the information on that on our Facebook page as well, so that you can grab that. But they're going to be demoing their stuff as well. Are we live, or do I have to?
We are absolutely live, Casey.
But I mean live on Instagram.
We are live
on Instagram.
everywhere. And
Very good.
So everybody, welcome out to episode 3 of the United States Disc Jockey Network Weekly Podcast.
What I call the fastest growing.
We got to be fast.
DJ association in the country, in the world, I believe.
Yes. This is the place where DJs connect, learn, and grow. And today we're joined by Ben Herman. He's from what I read, he's a powerhouse entrepreneur whose DJ career began at like 13 years old. And he's worked alongside legends like Will Smith, E40, Wu-Tang Clan, one of my favorites, and he built one of Northern California's top-rated DJ companies. So Ben's seen it all. And now through Profitable DJ and Profit Flow, he's helping DJs achieve freedom and success with smart business strategies and automation. So let's dive in and learn Ben's story and how he can take your DJ business to the next level. So Ben, thank you.
I'm gonna let you guys talk, and I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and I'll pop back in an hour. So
all right, good riddance. How are you, Ben?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us today. And before we dive into details of Profitable DJ and Profit Flow, I'd like to kind of kick things off with a few questions, kind of break the ice and let our audience get to know you better. Is that cool?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So I was reading your bio. It says you started DJing at 13 years old. And what was your first DJ setup? What did that look like?
Well, some folks have already heard this story, but it started off with a boombox on one side. So those Gen Z that may not know what a boombox is, it's essentially like an entire stereo system in one device, right? It had a tape deck on the bottom, a CD player up top.
Okay.
Those Gen Z also CDs are before MP3. I'm just kidding. I'm sure a lot of people on here are much older and understand what CDs are. So we had a boombox on one side, a Radio Shack mixer in the middle, and a Discman on the opposite side.
Oh,
so no pitch bend, nothing. Trying to figure out how to beat match. So you can imagine how that
I think this is what everybody's used to nowadays, huh?
Exactly. Absolutely.
and this compliments the BPM Supreme for hooking me up with that USB drive. Wow, that's pretty impressive. You said you had a realistic mixer?
A Radio Shack mixer.
Oh, Radio Shack, but it was a realistic mixer. Wow, that's not to whatever, but I still have my original mixer when I was about your age, sitting actually right behind me.
Oh, really?
I do. And if we get a chance, I'll show you.
We're one in the same then, because this mixer right here is one of my battle mixers. So this is the Vestax 07 Pro PMC. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Ben, we're talking about no faders. It was just up and down volume.
Oh, really?
I have the OG from like 1986, something like that.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, so tell us a little bit about your career. So, like, who was the first big artist that you got to work with, and how was that experience?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the first big artist was. So at one point in my career, I worked at a radio station. I actually toured all across the West Coast as well. So all the way up from Oregon all the way down to San Diego, and worked with a lot of top 40 artists that were pretty big time. So a lot happened around that, mid 2010 era that you can imagine. So I don't know if you guys remember Kid Ink, for instance. I don't know, Flo Rida. I mean, that's a big one for sure. Yeah. Mims, it was another one that was big around that time. Sure. Wow. In California, there's also the hyphy movement that happened. So E40, Keek the Sneak, San Quinn, all those guys as well. So
wow, that's pretty impressive. I mean, if you had to sum up your DJ style like in 3 words, what would it be?
I would say open format is probably like the easiest way to put it, for sure.
Oh, fantastic. You got 2 more? Or just open format, just strictly?
I mean, I would say that hip hop and EDM was where I started, and then just quickly became open.
Yeah, that's actually like my style too. I like doing open format because I'm also a wedding DJ, social media or social events DJ, but I also have to cater to like the younger crowd. So like the EDM and the hip hop is basically kind of one and the same, and for the younger crowd now. But obviously, being open minded and having an open format definitely helps out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
when I first got into it, right? Hip hop really ruled the land here in the United States.
Sure.
I came from Europe as well, so house, techno, and EDM was really big over there.
Oh yeah, techno.
But again, circa like 2010 era, Clinton Sparks, DJ AM, those were really big names. That really started taking it from like just one genre or a couple of genres to open format, where they were throwing in classics, mixing things up in all sorts of ways, which was a really exciting time.
Wow. I mean, outside of DJing and business, what are some things that people might be surprised to learn about you?
I would say that I didn't graduate high school. That's one of them. So I started my business at 17 years old as a junior in high school.
Okay.
And decided at that point, I actually have Rich Dad Poor Dad right here as well. So Robert Kiyosaki. I was handed that book at 16 years old and realized, I was a struggling academic who just, stayed after school, hired tutors, and still really fought for C's and D's, right? So I just really didn't fit that mold in the public school system. And it wasn't until I picked up this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, where I realized, my brain is actually wired differently like an entrepreneur. And so at that point, I realized like, okay, you know what? I'm really passionate about DJing. And I really love to figure out how to make a full-time living doing what I love. And so that's when I started on the journey of entrepreneurship and decided to literally set myself up in the back of each classroom, not finishing any homework assignment or any classwork assignment. Instead, picked up a bunch of business books and read those in the back of the classroom instead. So the funny part is I didn't graduate high school. I was only 2 credits short from graduating. I could have easily gotten my GED or gone to, summer school to catch up. But I thought, at some point in my life, I'd be successful enough where I could inspire others as well, just like that book inspired me. And it would sound so much cooler if I didn't graduate high school than if I did. So that's the whole reason why I didn't decide to.
Ben, thanks for sharing that. And I mean, let's now dig into your journey and what's led you to, where you are today. So I mean, let's shift gears into your presentation. Tell us a little bit about Profitable DJ and how it got started and what inspired you to launch it.
Yeah, Profitable DJ. So really, essentially, with my entertainment company, I was able to actually grow it into a multi-op, right? So I fired myself as a DJ, became the manager, then trained manager. So as a leader of leaders, and realized that I could actually fire myself as the CEO of the business as well. So essentially over time in my career, I built this business that ran completely on its own through systemization, standardization, automation, and delegation. Where I could literally move wherever I wanted to. So we were up in Northern California. We decided to move to Las Vegas, to be exact, Henderson, Nevada, which is right next to Vegas, for no other reason than just to increase quality of life. And so to be able to fire myself from the business and have the business continue to grow while not being involved on the day-to-day, was a really, really cool blessing. And so I did retire for a little bit, for about 6 months, got really bored though, very quickly, and decided that I wanted to start another venture. And that's where Profitable DJ was born, where it was about helping folks do the same thing that I figured out how to do, which is essentially, instead of owning a job, trading time for dollars, actually building a true business asset that continues to grow without your input at all. So that way you can then empower to scale if you want to multiple states, multiple markets if you'd like, or you can get into another business venture as well, right?
Right. What were some like the biggest challenges you faced early on?
Oh my gosh, too many to count.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't come from money, so I grew up in the trailer park at one point in my life, and just even learning, you know, just getting into the DJ world is quite expensive to acquire all this equipment, and so it took me 2 to 3 years just to save up some money to be able to afford my first turntable, right?
Oh,
so not even saying 2 turntables, but just 1 turntable, and then one grew into a second set, right? So then to learning how to you know, hire people for the first time,
sure.
and learning how to reduce turnover. I mean, there's all sorts of challenges that happen along the journey. The one thing I like to say is that entrepreneurship is by far the best self-development program you could ever be a part of. It forces you to be better because you are the business in the beginning. If you're scared of failure like me, you're going to change. You're going to change to become better so that your business hopefully succeeds.
No, for sure. So here, I have a personal question for you. Because I'm also a business owner here in Chicago, you know, doing weddings, social events, and whatnot. And you know, one of the questions I always ask other people, and I find a lot of inspiration with this. Okay, what are the most common mistakes DJs make in their business, and what's some advice that you can give to kind of help out a newcomer, or maybe somebody who's, you know, struggling to get leads, close deals, etc. Give us a little bit of your insight.
Absolutely. I would say the first one is overthinking things and wanting to be, you know, having all your ducks in line, being overly prepared, right?
Sure.
So a thing that we have in all of our businesses is progress over perfection. It's the whole overthinking it, the overanalyzation that causes procrastination, which ultimately then doesn't move the needle forward. So then you end up stuck in a situation where, you know, 2 years have passed and you're still in the same exact position that you were 2 years ago, right? So it's about, you learn, actually, you figure out, you get more data as you move forward. Like an analogy I like to give is, you know, if you're driving at nighttime, your headlights only shine a few hundred feet in front of you, right? Now, could you imagine just staying stuck in the parking lot because you're too scared, because you're like, I don't see the full path in front of me, right? So the best way to go about it is like the further you drive down that road in the dark, the more the path will be unveiled because the headlights shine a few hundred feet in front of you.
Of course.
Same goes with a journey with, like, you know, pursuing success or wherever you might be pursuing, is you just have to move forward in order to learn.
Right. No, that's actually great advice. And we got a Chicago legend in the house. I just want to give it up to Don Carlo is here. He's our multi DJ winner here in Chicago. He's won already 3 Marquee Show DJ battles, and he now works for the Chicago Bulls as one of their DJs. So big shout out to Don Carlos in the house, saying hi to everybody here.
What's up?
Yeah. So yeah. Where am I at here? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people actually checking in right now. We got Ray Jones from Audio West. He's saying hi to everybody. And we got Tony Keys here. Another legend. I have actually never met Tony. I know of him through friends and all that, but from what I've been told, he's a great DJ, a great business guy. So yeah, shout out to those guys for checking in the chat. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about how your products, and whether it be Profit Flow, and all the other you know, profitable DJs, you know, tools that you have. Can you tell us a little bit about how you can help DJs automate and scale?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say, you know, it's even bigger than that. So what we're focused on really is we want to help revolutionize the entire private event DJ industry, right?
Okay.
We feel that like certain things have stayed stuck and stagnant. And so when it comes to not just technological changes, but also the way that we market our business and so forth. And so these are things that definitely I'll be covering inside of my presentation today. But what I'd say is our ecosystem, which includes Profitable DJ, Profit Flow, DJ University, and DJ Recruiter, is, Profitable DJ really focuses on business education. So, there's plenty of DJ schools out there and we all respect them, by the way. But there's a lack of business education in our space, right? And so we have a lot of talented DJs, but they lack the sense of understanding how to fill their calendars, how to hire folks to grow into a multi-op and scale to even multiple markets as well. And so all those kinds of things is really what Profitable DJ covers. Profit Flow is our software company, right? So it's not your basic CRM. The way that we like to look at it is like we try to solve it by having one single software run your entire DJ business. So that's really what Profit Flow is focused on, which helps with automations, but also includes a ton of AI and all that kind of stuff. And then DJ University and DJ Recruiter. DJ Recruiter is about helping hire, so multi-ops hires talented staff. And then DJ University focuses on training that staff for a multi-op business.
Got it. No, that was great. We have a question that came in from YouTube from Anthony Girardi. What challenge do you see with many weekend warriors hurting the full-time owners? Most companies do not respect and understand the value of equipment, logistics, and talent costs. That's actually a really good question. So what would be your answer?
Yeah, Anthony, I think that's a concern in the industry, right? A lot of times what I hear is folks are threatened by the newbies coming into the industry. They feel like they're undercutting us, all experienced folks. What I'd say is competition is healthy. In addition to that, also, a lot of DJs tend to not understand their full TAM. TAM stands for total addressable market. So if you just do a basic Google search or even a GPT to figure out how many weddings or events happen in your market, you'll quickly find that even if you just had 1% or 2% of the market share, you wouldn't know what to do with that because you wouldn't have enough staff, right? Now, for you larger multi-ops, right, total market dominance is 10%. That's how low it is. So, and that's like you being a very, very big player, right? And so we have plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of events to go around for everyone, including the newbies. The other thing that I'd also say, Anthony, is that like we experienced folks, we don't want to deal with the price shopping client that may take advantage of our services where, like the saying goes, they're, what is it? A champagne taste on a beer budget, right? Where you give them a discount and then all at once they're wanting so much more. They tend to be a lot more challenging to work with and so forth. So let the newbies take on those jobs and then have us more premium DJs focus on the higher, 2 to 3 to 4K tickets.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Anthony, for that question. And Ben, before we dive into your presentation, I personally have a question for you.
Yeah, love to.
What success stories have you seen from DJs using these tools?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. So like one of our licensees, for instance, he went from, I believe it was like 60 bookings to 170 bookings within less than a year of working with us.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, working out of his home to actually having an office, a full-time management team in place, full-time event staff team in place, where now he's working in his business less than 5 hours a week.
Wow.
While it's scaling, while it's continuing to grow.
While it's scaling.
Exactly.
Wow. That is fantastic. Well, Ben, everything sounds really good so far. And why don't you go ahead and dive into why mentorship is so important in this industry and how you can help our US DJN networks succeed in their business?
Yeah, what I'd say is mentorship is absolutely important just for the fact that great mentors have already done it, right? I don't really agree with folks who are only focused on regurgitating YouTube content or whatever else. But if they're speaking from a real place of experience, those people can be a huge shortcut. Everybody has to go through a learning curve, but that learning curve could be dramatically reduced simply by working with a mentor, someone who's already experienced. So that's what I'd say.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, no, great answers. Yeah, so go ahead and yeah, I'm assuming you've got a presentation.
Yep.
So if you want, I can definitely load your screen up for you if you want to share it, and so we can kind of dive in.
Let's do it. Let me go ahead and just get my screen share going here. Okay, awesome. Let me turn the full screen mode on. Can you see my screen okay?
I can see your screen, and you should be coming up in just a second.
Perfect.
Let me remove one little thing here, and let's get you up there. There you go. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, as you heard, my name is Ben Herman. I'm the head mentor and founder here at Prof. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost you for 1 second. I apologize. That was my fault. That was my fault. Here, you're back. I'm sorry about that. Go for it.
Okay, gotcha. I'll go ahead and just start from the beginning. As you heard, my name is Ben Herman, and I am the founder and mentor here at Profitable DJ. I am super passionate about helping DJ entrepreneurs not only go full-time and make a full-time living doing what they love, but actually escaping the trap of like owning a job versus a real business, and that runs profitably, but also efficiently as well. So really what we're going to be talking about today is all about how to scale with predictable leads. But before I get into the presentation, I just wanted to let you guys know I do have a podcast, The Ben Herman Show, which is available on all major podcasting platforms. In addition to also on YouTube, you can search up The Ben Herman Show. And some of the guests that were featured is like Alan Berg, Brian B, DJ Koba, DJ Hoppa, Joe Bunn, Matt Radicelli, and actually even the founder here at the USDJN is coming up very soon. Casey is also featured. So if you want to check out Casey's episode that will be dropping very soon, make sure to subscribe to that podcast, The Ben Herman Show, on all major podcasting platforms. All right, let's get into it. So the main reason why we're here today is to learn how to scale with predictable leads. Okay. And there's a variety of reasons why this is so important, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take just a quick moment and think about what is your revenue goal for, let's say, 2025 for the remainder of this year. So we've got, we're about to end the third quarter. We're about to, get into the fourth quarter. What is your revenue goal for this year? If you'd like to shoot even further, what's your revenue goal for 2026? Maybe you're a future planner and you like to figure that out. So think of that number. Is it maybe 50K? Is it 100K? So, I remember crossing that, 6-figure milestone in my early 20s. And that was really exciting, right? Maybe you want to go for $250,000 or $500,000 or even $1 million or maybe multiple million, right? What is that revenue goal that you're striving for? Because we need to have a North Star target to shoot for, right? All right. So now what we're going to get into is the money math section. Okay. I want to just preface and forewarn you though, this is not boring math. Okay. Like I mentioned before, I didn't graduate high school. I wasn't actually that great at geometry, trigonometry and all that kind of stuff. But man, I sure do love money math. So let's go ahead and get into the money math. What we need to figure out is how many bookings do we need in order to hit our revenue goal? Okay. So remember that number. Maybe it's $250,000, $500,000, million, 2 million, right? What is that number? And how many bookings do we need in order to hit that number predictably, right? So the way that works is you take your revenue goal. Okay. You divide it by your average ticket, and then you get the amount of bookings that you need in order to hit your revenue goal. Now, what's your average ticket? Well, you can either wing it and you can just go, okay, I'll guesstimate it. On average, I'll charge $2,000 for, weddings and that kind of stuff, right? That's like my mid-tier package. Or you can go based off real data, which is actually doing a quick calculation, which is taking, let's say, the last 12 months of revenue divided by the amount of events that you booked, okay, and that you served, and you should get your average ticket number out of that. Okay. So that's a more exact way to figure out average ticket. But if you want to wing it, you can just say on average, I get $2,000, $3,000 per booking. Okay. Now the math is pretty simple here. Let's say if you wanted to hit $1 million, hit that 7-figure milestone for the first time. Okay. And let's say on average, you charge $2,000 per event. Well, $1 million divided by 2,000 equals 500 events booked. So your goal is just acquire 500 events and you should be able to hit that $1 million revenue goal. Okay. Now understand, I've talked to many DJs before. A lot of people think that the 7-figure mark is quite intimidating. So let's do a more realistic number. Let's say $100,000, right? So you're trying to go from, let's say, maybe part-time to full-time, and you're trying to cross that six-figure mark for the first time. Let's say the average ticket still stays around $2,000. Okay. Well, $100,000 divided by $2,000 equals, you guessed it, subtract a 0 from the first number, 50 bookings. Okay. So remember that number, 50 bookings, because we need it for the next equation. The next equation that we need to figure out is your sales conversion rate. Okay. And I'm so surprised how many people don't truly, and I'm talking about vets that have been DJing for 30 years or even longer than I've been alive. When I ask them, hey, what's your sales conversion rate? They can't give me a clear answer. Okay. And by the way, your sales conversion rate is not 90%. If you think it's 90%, then you don't understand your sales conversion rate. Okay. So we want to make sure that we actually truly understand this data, because one thing we love to say around Profitable DJ here is data data over drama. Okay. Data over drama means that like drama is based off your feelings. I feel like this is how my business is going. I feel like I'm going to hit my revenue goal and so forth, right? Feelings are super misleading, right? We'd rather just solidify it with data because numbers don't lie, okay? So the sales conversion rate equation is bookings divided by leads equals your sales conversion rate, okay? So let's say the last 12 months, or maybe you want to even do 2024 numbers. If you log into your CRM, your customer relationship management software, maybe DJEP, Honeybook, whatever, right? Log in there. You can pull up a report of all the bookings that you had, and then all the leads that you were able to acquire last year or over the last 12 months. Okay. And if you don't have a CRM, get one, please, because it's definitely important. It's like the mothership software that makes tracking these numbers so much easier for you. Okay. And they're fairly affordable, by the way. So definitely look into that as well. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and use a real example. Let's say from the previous example of the $100,000 revenue goal that we're trying to shoot for, we only need 50 bookings, right? So 50 bookings divided, let's say, by 150 leads, right, equals a 33% conversion rate, right? Which is pretty easy. But let's say we weren't as good at selling or booking these clients. And let's say we only were able to hit a 25% conversion rate. Well, that number is still pretty easy because it's just 50 bookings, right? If you take 100% and turn it into quarters, how many quarters are there? 4 quarters, right? So 50 times 4 equals 200 leads. And you may be asking, Ben, why is this so freaking important? Well, what we're trying to get to is figure out this number right here, okay? Is how many leads do you need in order to predictably hit your revenue goal? So all I essentially did right now is I walked you through a process of reverse engineering. Set your North Star goal and reverse engineer to figure out how to actually get there, not based off feelings or guessing or dreaming, but based off real hard data that as long as you hit your benchmark numbers, you are going to predictably hit your revenue goal. Okay. Takes all the guesswork out of it. All right. So remember 200 leads. Now, hopefully you've written down these equations. You've done the math and you followed along with me. And based off your revenue goal, what is that for you? So let me know inside the comments what amount of leads you need to predictably hit your revenue goal. Okay. And by the way, guess what? We are done with the math section. Everybody give it up for yourselves. That was pretty easy, right? Okay, cool. So the next thing that we got to ask ourselves is, okay, Ben, you help me figure out how many leads I need to hit my revenue goal predictably, but how the heck do I track leads predictably? I rely on word of mouth referrals, and those are not predictable really. So I rely on like vendor referrals and vendor partners to refer me. So that also doesn't feel very predictable either. So let's go ahead and talk about the 3 most common myths, right? I already touched on one, which is, getting better as a DJ doesn't equal more gigs, right? Like so many folks think like, oh, if I just got better as a DJ, if I could start doing, start scratching, start beat juggling, start like tone play, right? Then I'll get more gigs, right? And it's simply a myth. Because here's the thing is that the best marketers win, not the best DJs. And I know it's a sad truth because we're all passionate about, our skill set and our art form, right? And by the way, that's not to discount that like you should not pay attention to the skills of DJing and emceeing, especially us, private event DJs. Like microphone work is very important as well. Event coordination is very important as well with weddings and so forth, right? So what I'm getting at here is that in order to grow your business predictably revenue wise, it doesn't come down to your skill set as a DJ. That comes down to more of customer satisfaction, getting 5-star reviews, which helps provide social proof or a reputation. And that all comes into play as well with marketing. But really at the ground of it, though, it's not that you trying to work on your skill set of becoming a better MC or DJ is how you're going to acquire more gigs. You might get a little more referrals, right? But it's not a predictable way to like turn on the faucet where you're going to just, double your business in a single year. Okay. So that's one thing. The next is referrals alone will keep me busy, right? When I ask DJs, what's your main marketing strategy? 9 out of 10 DJs that answer that question to me tell me that they mainly rely on referrals, right? And the challenging part about that is that you have no control over the growth of your business at that point because it's inconsistent, right? It's unreliable. Like the only way that referrals come through is if that person that is going to refer your business thinks of your business and happens to be in front of an opportunity of someone looking for a DJ. And by the way, that doesn't just happen on an everyday basis to that single person, right? So that's why we try to then get, a referral network going by working our way into multiple preferred vendor lists, right? Working with vendors and referral partners to try to get some more leads that way. But the challenging part is, again, if you want to grow your business predictably, you're not going to do it through word of mouth referrals. And again, I'm not discounting referrals. They're super important. We love them. They're usually a warmer prospect. They're easier to book. In addition to that, they tend to actually book more with you as well and tend to be easier to work with. So like we love referrals. I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying when it comes to actually figuring out how to grow by 50% or doubling your business in a single year, you can't do it solely just with word of mouth referrals. Okay. And then the final myth is going viral on social media, right? Hey guys, it's 2025. We see some of the big time DJ influencers. They are the ones that rule the social media land, right? And in a way, it kind of makes us go, well, if they're actually this successful, maybe that's what I need to do is I need to double down by posting every single day, multiple reels and social media posts across multiple social media platforms every single day, right? And it's kind of like you're on the hamster wheel, just exerting a lot of energy and not really going anywhere, okay? And the challenging part about it is that, unfortunately, likes don't pay the bills, okay? Now, there is a strategy to it. I think it's a little more advanced, and I feel like there's easier, lower hanging fruit strategies that will actually help you get to a point where you can double your business in a single year. And going viral there's some nuances to it, right? One challenge is if you go viral for viral's sake, well, what does it matter if like you're, let's say in Los Angeles, California, right? And you get a bunch of like followers from the East Coast and you don't service the East Coast. Well, I mean, it's cool to get, it's a nice ego boost. It makes us look cooler that we have a larger social media following on our platforms, right? Or our profiles. But those followers don't turn into actual bookings, right? So one is that we have to only get like local, followers. And then of those local followers, if a bunch of like, teeny bops, like that are like, 12 through 16 years old, follow your page because they love your DJ skill work of you blending songs together or doing some cool, transition. Well, they're not getting married for a while, right? They're not booking a DJ for their upcoming events in a while, unless maybe for a Sweet 16 or whatever else. But the thing is that like, for the most part, it's quite challenging to control that, to only get like very specific people to follow your page based off going viral that then turn into bookings, right? All right. So the next questions I have for you is like, have you ever been ghosted or have you ever been told, unfortunately we found someone else or yeah, or feel like, others are doing better than you, like your competitors are doing better than you, right? Well, did you know that 85% of leads research their DJs online before reaching out to them in the first place? So you got to make sure that you actually provide and feed these leads research material on the front end so they get to research you before they even reach out to you, before you even know they exist. We're in a really big transition period right now from millennial couples over to the Gen Z couples if you're a wedding DJ, right? And Gen Z act and behave differently than millennials. And so this becomes even more important now than ever before. Okay. Did you also know, though, that 50 to 70% of leads require multiple touch points before reaching out or reaching a booking decision? So the challenging part here is that, like, you may have heard previously back in the 90s and early 2000s that on average, it took about 7 touch points before a person got to a purchasing decision, right? Well, now with the crazy social media landscape of everybody, we're talking about like the 2-second, like every single time there's a new reel, short form content ruling the land, right? People's attention span is worse than a goldfish now. It used to be like a goldfish back in, the early 2000s. Now it's worse than a goldfish, right? And because of that, that number has increased to 12 to 15 touches now. Like, we actually have to be in front of these prospects 12 to 15 times before they ever even decide to reach out to us. Okay. So when you start marketing, I've heard of this before as well, where people are like, yeah, Ben, I've tried running, meta ads, which is Instagram and Facebook, or I've run TikTok ads, or I've run Google ads, and it just doesn't work. And the thing is that, like, if you've only tried it for, let's say, a couple weeks and you turn them off, well, of course it didn't work, right? Because again, you didn't get to that place and that runway of 12 to 15 touch points. Okay. So that's the main thing that we have to address here. Okay. The ugly truth is that most DJs have no real system to capture leads, to nurture them, aka informing them, educating them on the front end, and turn them into high paying clients. Right. And so the main thing that I want to just real quick interrupt you guys on this presentation is like, you may have liked the first part of this presentation. You're like, well, why should I even listen to Ben? I've never heard of Ben. I've never heard of Profit DJ. Why the heck should I even care? Right. Well, I just want to let you guys know that, I have over 25 years of experience running a large multi-op in California, in Northern and Southern California. And as you can see, like, I've got a 3,500 square foot office building. We've got a team. We do some amazing things, and it's all gravy. The other thing is that I've actually been able to figure out how to fire myself from the day-to-day, which means that not only do I not DJ, but I don't even manage the business at all, period, right? And so now I have this real business asset that's actually providing to me without my effort or my time being involved, okay? And not saying that that's what you want, right? Just because I did that doesn't mean that you have to do that. For a while there, for the first 5 years before firing myself, I decided to just kind of only cherry pick the events that I wanted to DJ, because I still love DJing, right? So don't get me wrong. I got into this profession and this industry for a reason, because I fell in love with it, right? And so, like, I still love DJing to this day. But the cool part is, like, before I fired myself completely from a business, I would just cherry pick the ideal gigs that I wanted to personally work. And I'd work maybe a handful, maybe less than 10 events a year, right? And that way I got my weekends back. I got to actually travel the world with my family. I got to do some really cool things, which is super awesome. Okay. But so what about my results, right? You're like, okay, maybe Ben's special. Maybe Ben's just a unicorn. He has, some special powers, and that's the reason why, which, by the way, I'm here to tell you, I'm just as human as you are. I have to go to the bathroom also. I still scroll on the toilet also. You know what I mean? Like, like, I'm no more special or more gifted than any of you here. If anything, I bet you multiple people on this webinar right now are more educated than I am, because I just told you, I didn't even graduate high school. Most of you probably have a high school diploma, probably even a college degree, right? So I'm telling you right now, there's nothing special to me, okay? But because I was able to fire myself, I got bored. I literally did travel for 6 months and took kind of a vacation for 6 months, got bored really quickly, knew like this is what I was born to do, is creating businesses. And so I decided to start Profitable DJ, right? And what we did is we actually licensed the business systems across the US and Canada. And what I mean by that is, like, if you think about like a Starbucks, a McDonald's or whatever else, Starbucks technically is not a franchise. So let's use McDonald's because McDonald's is a true franchise. You notice that like none of the owners are actually working inside of McDonald's. How is it that high school and college students can run an entire restaurant, right? An entire McDonald's franchise restaurant. Well, the reason why is because they utilize systems and proven processes, right? And so really what I've decided to do is with franchising, you can license the brand, right? The golden arches and the McDonald's name, and the business system, right? Which is like how to actually operate entire McDonald's profitably and efficiently, right? Well, licensing, you get to choose either or. So you get to choose either to license a brand, Think of your favorite sports team, for instance. Think of Disney, right? They license the logos, the mascots, the figure, the little action figures or whatever. That's licensing the brand, right? Or you can license the operating system, which is what I decided to do. So for licensees across the US and Canada, essentially like they get to hold on their own name tag, right? The brand, the logo, and keep a business. And essentially they're licensing the operating system of how to actually run a business profitably and efficiently. Okay. And the cool part is what we've been able to achieve for our clients is probably more important here. So on average, our licensees increase their lead generation by 207% within the first year, which is super incredible. They increased their revenue by $936.20 a year on average. So this is not like, regular revenue, this added revenue on top of what they were able to achieve before that every single year. Okay. And then increase their profit margins by 64.29% on average. This is all averages, guys, which means like there are people that are doing way better than that as well. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to actually peel back one of the systems for you guys to give you access to what some of our licensees are implementing in their business. So hopefully you guys are excited and hopefully you guys have some sort of writing materials to take copious notes because you'll want to do that. Okay. So this right here is what we like to call our money magnet model. Okay. And it's kind of important to say that magnet is actually suggesting attraction, right? A magnet attracts things to it. It's not chasing down leads. It's not chasing down bookings or ghosted, prospects. It's attracting prospects. It's attracting bookings to your business. Okay. Which the change of positioning is really important. Okay. So the money magnet method really comprises of three main components. The first one is we have to niche down, right? So the saying is riches are in the niches. Okay. So, don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You want to hyper focus on one specific customer type that you can just go above and beyond on when it comes to the service delivery. But also there's some other additional benefits by niching down, which is the second benefit, which is messaging. So if you are a jack of all trades, right? If you accept any sort of gig, like, oh, if you're willing to pay me money, if you have an event where you need a DJ, if you're just breathing, like, please book me, right? And we know those DJs out there, right? They have the shotgun approach where they're just like, I do everything, right? And they just shoot out messaging everywhere, right? And because of that, because you're not niching down and you're just a generalist, right? Your messaging is just all over the place. When a person from outside looking in, right, like a prospect is studying your business, they quickly realize, like, I don't know what they do really well, right? They're kind of confused. And as the saying goes, a confused mind never buys, right? So what we want to do is we want to get really clear on our messaging. And the only way we can do that is by actually niching down to a specific customer type. Because if we understand the customer type that we're pursuing, now we can study them and know exactly all the things that the pain, the struggles, the challenges that they're facing as they're planning their event. We can understand the desires that they want for their event, the desires that they want for their entertainment for their event as well, right? So that's the main thing, is like we want to make sure we niche down so we can get really clear messaging. Okay. And then lastly, we need to focus on actually becoming the authority in our marketplace. Okay. What do I mean by authority? Well, authority is kind of like, like the positioning of your business is not one that nobody respects, but someone that respects highly. Right. And that doesn't just mean just with your marketplace of like people who are throwing events in your market, but actually your vendors as well, where they actually really respect you. Okay. So we have to make sure that we do focus on all these three things: niching down, getting our messaging right because we niche down, and then from that messaging also build the authority of people knowing who we are and respecting us highly because of it. Okay. So let's go ahead and break down the three secrets of the money magnet model and the things that you should be paying attention to. Okay. The first secret is the power of paid ads over organic reach. So organic reach essentially is, how you utilize these social media platforms the way, out of the box. So you can literally go to Instagram.com, right? Facebook.com, TikTok.com, and you can create a free profile. They don't charge you a dime for that, right? And then you can all at once start posting on there and they don't charge you a dime for that, right? So that would be utilizing the social media platform organically the way it was designed, okay? Paid ads is actually paying money in exchange for eyeballs. right? And so let's talk about why paid ads is superior over organic reach. Okay. The main three problems that we have with organic reach is one, like I mentioned before, likes don't pay the bills, right? Two, there's no control and no ownership. So how many of you remember MySpace, Friendster, Vine, right? These platforms, especially MySpace. I mean, I was on MySpace back in high school. And I remember, I mean, that platform was so popular that nobody expected it to go extinct, right? I mean, it's still alive, but nobody uses it anymore because it lost popularity, right? And so think about all these people that built up their social media following on the social media platform, and all at once, one, that social media platform goes extinct, like they literally go out of business. Two, they lose popularity. Three, they get banned. I mean, TikTok is like constantly on the verge of getting banned, right? And so you don't have any ownership over that list of people that you attracted to your profiles. So, they like to make you think that, yeah, these followers that you acquired are yours, but only as long as they stay on their platform, right? You can't actually export these followers to an email list or text message list or anything else. And so, God forbid, one of these social media platforms goes extinct or, loses popularity or gets banned. Now you've spent all this time and money and effort for these people to just go extinct with the platform, right? Then the other side of it is there's no control, right? Because there's an algorithm that you don't control. It's the algorithm that they control. So depending on what they want you to do, they use you like a little hamster, right? Where they incentivize you to do things for their business, right? And that's one of the reasons why their buildings are way bigger than ours, right? Is because they're all just playing us, right? They're literally just incentivizing you doing certain things to get more followers, more engagement, more whatever, right? More reach, so that way they can profit more, right? Which sucks. Sucks for you, right? And that doesn't suck for them. It's a really smart business model for them. And then the final problem is reach throttling. What the heck is reach throttling, Ben? Well, what it is essentially of 100% of your followers. Maybe you have 100 followers, 1,000 followers, 10,000, 100,000, a million followers, right? You would think that of the followers that you were able to acquire to your platform or your profile, when you post on there, that 100% of those followers, because they chose to follow you, right? That 100% of those followers would be able to see your content that you post. And this can be furthest from the truth, but it's actually even darker than I can make up. And I'm going to show you a graph, okay? This right here, I literally just grabbed this off Google, so feel free to search up reach throttling. This was back in 2024. I did it back in 2021 or 2022, and the numbers are lower on 2024's data, right, than they were in 2022. So that being said, the numbers are not going up, they're going down, okay? So Instagram, as you see that blue graph bar right there, on the left side is average organic reach by percentage, and then the platform is on the bottom, right? So that blue bar right there is 4% reach, meaning out of 100% of your followers, there's only 4% of them that will actually see your content. And you and I both inherently know this, because unless you actually figure out how to crack the algorithm where you're going viral for going viral sake, your reach, like your engagement, is like minimal. Like you might have 1,000 followers, but only like 2 to 4 people like it or comment on it, right? On Facebook, it's even lower. It's 2.6%, right? And then on TikTok, it's 5% or less, which is crazy, right? By the way, again, when I researched this a couple of years ago, Instagram was at 15% and now is down to 4% just in a couple of years. Facebook was at 5% and now is down to 2.6%. So that's how quickly the reach is being throttled, okay? And this is the truth that they're trying to hide from you, and you got to now finally find out about it, okay? Now, let me kind of not defend them, but give you an understanding of why they're doing it so that you're not super mad at them, okay? Here's the thing. They're not a charity, okay? They are a for-profit business. Every single one of these social media platforms are a for-profit business. And by the way, they're just using an age-old model that we have known for centuries now, right? Think about this. If it's a free platform to all of its users, how can Instagram, Facebook, aka Meta, or TikTok, right? How can they keep their doors open? How can they keep the lights on? How can they pay these salaries of these developers and so forth, right? And these big buildings? How can they do that? Well, they have to sell some sort of space to be able to give, to monetize this, which is ad dollars, right? So they just sell eyeballs to advertisers. Well, you know who else did this? The newspaper, right? So newspapers may have been free or cheap, but then they had ads throughout the newspaper, and that's how the newspaper company got paid, right? Then fast forward radio, right? Radio is free to listen to, but then they sold ad space in order to monetize it so they could keep their bills, paid and running at a profit, right? Then fast forward to TV. Guess what? TV is free or fairly cheap. And then ad dollars are the things that make them the multi-million or billion-dollar companies, right? So social media is literally just following an age-old model. That's all it is, okay? So don't be mad at it. The thing is that like you getting mad at it and boycotting it actually makes you lose out on a huge opportunity here. So you just got to learn how to play the game. And as long as you play the game in the way that it's designed, you're going to win the game, right? That's what it comes down to. So while people are focusing on organic social media reach by trying to go viral, right? And then meanwhile, this is what our clients are doing. They're running paid ads on the same platforms like Meta, right? So Facebook and Instagram or TikTok or Google, right? And this right here is Soiree Entertainment based out of Toronto, Canada. And as you can see, that arrow is pointing to 52 leads in 30 days or less for just $11 and something a lead. Okay. Sorry, I can't see it. I'm actually on my teleprompter, so it's like really tiny. I think it says $11.31 per lead, right? So you can get leads fairly cheap, okay, and actually get guaranteed leads instead of volleying it up to the algorithm and hoping and praying to the algorithm gods that they favor your business over anybody else's, right? It's just pay Zuck his money, and because of that, he's contractually obligated to provide you a certain amount of eyeballs in exchange for that money because he wants more of your dollars anyways. So he needs to provide a real result for you. So that way you'll want to spend more with him or spend longer with them, right? So pay the people, okay? Also on top of that, this is kind of the results that you can expect. What this shows is purchase ROAS stands for return on ad spend. So think of it as ROI, return on investment, right? So for every dollar, right, spent, a 15x ROI, it's $15 in return. So for every dollar you spend, you get 15x. So for every $1,000 you spend on ads, you get $15,000 in return in bookings, right? For every $15,000, you get $150,000. No, wait, that's wrong. That would be 10x. I don't know what that math is. You punch it into the calculator, but you get what I'm saying, okay? If I were to ask you, like, if I had a machine, okay, that for every dollar you put in, it spit out $2 in return, guaranteed. How many of your dollars would you put into it? As much as you could, right? Because you're essentially doubling your money every single time. Now imagine 15xing your investment every single time, and not just vague, but guaranteed, right? That's how you create a true money magnet machine. All right. So let's talk about secret number 2. How to create an effective ad campaign, right? Well, so really an effective ad campaign comprises of 3 components, okay? Targeting, so really, really clear targeting, ad copy and creative, and call to action. So let me talk about targeting. Targeting really comes down to, if you're a wedding DJ, guess who you want your ad to be in front of? You don't want your ad to be in front of just a bunch of randoms, right? You want it to be only shown to people who are engaged and actually in the process of planning their wedding and actually at a budget that they can afford your entertainment services, right? So that would be targeting. Ad copy is really the text that people read that adds persuasion, but really has marketing and sales psychology built within it. So it's not just writing for writing's sake, but it's actual persuasive text that gets someone to take an action. The creative is the imagery. So maybe it's a graphic designed image, maybe it's a photo, maybe it's a video. That would be the creative, okay? And then finally, the call to action is every ad, effective ad, needs to have some sort of next step that the prospect should follow, okay? So you want to give it a very clear action of next step of like, do this next, please, right? And by the way, you don't want to have multiple call to actions, like multiple things to do. like a lot of you say, hey, please like and subscribe and comment down below, because that right there actually splits the focus and causes confusion. Remember, a confused mind never buys. So what you want to dumb it down to actually is only one call to action. Hey, if you like this content, subscribe, right? Hey, comment down below with a question, blah, blah, blah. Single one call to action, so that way you avoid confusion. Okay? Hopefully you guys are liking this so far. I'm going to peel back the curtain right now. I'm going to show you some of our winning effective ads and show you exactly what I'm talking about of the 3 components that come into play. Okay. Right here, this is one of our cold ads. So as you can see at the top right there, this is what I would call the ad copy. Okay. This is the persuasive text with marketing sales psychology baked in. Then down below is the creative, right? The image. And actually, the image even has more sales copy, right? Or ad copy, persuasive text that gets someone to take action. Okay. And then down below at the bottom there, the learn more button, along with, the little tagline right there, is your call to action. Okay. Now let me show you another one. This is actually a retargeting ad, and this is for more warmer prospects, because here's the other thing is that different leads are in different types of, different parts of the journey, if that makes sense, right? A freshly engaged couple is not ready to book a DJ yet, but yet they're engaged and they're going to book a DJ at some point in time. So you want to reach people early enough to be able to, get them to know you before they get to know your competitors, right? And that gets you hopefully a higher likelihood of getting booked over your competitors, right? So that would be a cold lead, a person who has a challenge of like needs a DJ, right? And has a problem that needs to be solved, but it's just not aware of you yet, right? And you want to make that introduction. The warm lead is someone who's already aware of you, right? So they may know you and they may even like you, but they don't fully trust you just yet, right? And then a hot lead is someone who knows, likes, and trusts you, and they're just literally trying to figure out, are you available on my event date? What services do you have available that I need? And are they available on my event date? And can I afford you? As long as those 3 check the box, I'm going to book you no matter what, right? So that being said, this would be a warm ad, which means someone who already now knows about us, but may not fully trust us. So how do we build trust? Well, guess what? We put in front of them video testimonials of clients bragging about our services, right? And as you can see at the very top, ad copy. In the middle, this is a video, not a graphic design this time, right? Which is the creative. And at the bottom is the call to action, right? And this is legitimately, like, as you can see, our staff is instructed to grab a video testimonial from the client at the end of their wedding when the music is shut off and over, right? So they're still there at the venue, but they're, the music's off. So therefore there's not as much noise and so forth, right? And so as you can tell, this is literally a bride and groom in their actual wedding attire minutes after experiencing our services, right? So this right here is the most authentic way to build trust, to engage couples who are looking into your services, right? Because remember, you need 12 to 15 touches before they even reach out to you. And they need to do a ton of research before they even decide to get to a booking decision. Okay. So hopefully that's been helpful. Let me show you now a cold lead, someone who just recently got engaged, who, isn't even looking for a DJ right now. This is how we actually flip the script of, like, a lot of us DJs were always reliant on vendor referral partners, such as venues, wedding coordinators, right? Even photographers, because in the food chain of people, people getting booked, right? We come 6th or 7th in place, right? So there's a bunch of vendors that get booked before us. So we asked ourselves, well, how can we flip the script, and how can we actually attract the lead before even the venue does, right? Now, they're not going to book us right away, and that's okay, but we just want to get the lead so that way we don't have to rely on the venue anymore, or the catering company, or the photographer, or the coordinator to feed us those leads. We can actually get those leads before, and we can actually flip the script and positioning of, like, hey, instead of us relying on you, you can now rely on us to feed you the leads, right? And so really what we want to do is we want to put together a lead magnet, a irresistible offer that someone would want in exchange for their contact information, right? So as you can see, same format, ad copy at the very top, ad creative in the middle, right? And you've guessed it, call to action at the bottom. Okay. So let's talk about lead magnets. how to create an irresistible lead magnet. Lead magnets and really creating an irresistible lead magnet comes down to three main components. Irresistible value, okay? And I can't stress this enough. You can't just put a basic PDF checklist together or a basic PDF download of like, hey, these are some first song suggestions. Awesome, right? Nobody freaking cares, right? Like they can just GPT that and find it out in a matter of seconds. Like you have to create something that is actually worth real money. Like someone would be willing to pay their hard-earned cash in exchange for that. And you're going to give it away for free or at a fraction of the cost. Okay. So for instance, that offer that you saw earlier, like I am in the online education space, so I know how to price these things. We legitimately could charge $1,000 for that whole wedding planning suite for these engaged couples, $1,000. And then they get to have access to it for free in exchange for their name, phone number, email address, and wedding date. Right? So irresistible offer. That's super important. Okay. Next up is specific problem. It has to solve a very specific problem, and ideally a specific problem that happens before booking you. Okay. So positionally, if you actually address the problems that happen before booking you, guess what? That you solve the problem, which builds a ton of trust and rapport, positions you as the expert and authority, right, to that prospect. And then the next natural step is then looking into booking a DJ, right? So solves a very specific problem. Not, by the way, I didn't say solve specific problems. I said a specific problem. Okay. Remember, same with the call to action. Only one call to action, one next step, not three next steps, one next step. Same goes with the specific problem. Okay. And then finally, it needs to support the call to action of the ad. Okay. So if you're asking the call to action to be, get a quote on my website, well, what is a thing that you can solve, a problem that you can solve before they look into a DJ that can support them naturally taking the next step to inquire about your services? That would be supporting your call to action. Okay. Please save your questions to the end because I'm definitely down to take any questions at the end of my presentation. All right. So some of you guys might be like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of information. And you might be feeling a little confused on lead magnets. Like, cool, Ben, I don't even know how to get started on putting a lead magnet together. Like, what kind of specific problem do I solve? Like, how do I even put this stuff together? Now, we're already 40 minutes in, so I just want to be respectful of everybody's time. So I can't go super deep on this, unfortunately. But what I want to do is, can I over deliver? Is that cool? Can I over deliver? What I'd like to do is I'm going to run a special workshop next Monday for all of you. Okay. At 5 p.m. PST, I'm in Vegas, so that's Pacific time. So 5 p.m. PST, that's 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hopefully you guys are available next Monday. And I'll run a workshop on how to create a lead magnet for your business that's irresistible, that solves that problem and also supports your call to action. Okay. So if you're at all interested, go ahead and all I'm asking in return, by the way, is just for you to be honest with how this presentation is going. Go ahead and scan that QR code. Or go to, you'll see on the bottom right there in that purple box. You can go to that link directly, review.profitdj.com, and just leave me a review. Like legitimately just leave me a review and let me know like your honest opinions. You're not going to hurt my feelings. If you want to give me a 1-star review, I'd rather get that to understand how to correct myself. Okay. So like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'd rather have you be brutally honest with me. If you think I'm awesome, give me a 5-star. If you don't think I'm awesome, give me a 1-star. Okay. Either way, whatever star review you give me and whatever real feedback you give me, I'm going to honor this promise that you'll still get access to the lead magnet workshop, even if you give me a 1-star review. Okay. In addition to that, I want to make it even spicier. We're going to throw in our pricing for profits course as well, which is valued at $200. Like legitimately right now, we are selling this for $200, and you can get the profits for pricing course as well, simply by showing up on Monday. Once you've signed up for this. So you review, leave me an honest review on this presentation. You get access to the workshop. If you then show up to the workshop, because I don't want to incentivize people that just sign up for things just for the heck of it. If you actually show up to the workshop, then I'll also provide you access to our pricing for profits course valued at $200. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee real quick while you scan that and while you review, just because I'm a little parched. All right. hopefully you guys had a chance to do that, or you can take a screenshot. Actually, yeah, do me a favor, because in order to move on, I need you guys to be able to get access to this. So screenshot this slide right here, so that way you can access it later after the presentation. Okay. All right, moving on. Here we go. I guess the next question I have for you guys is, can I over deliver again? Is that cool? Of course I can, right? So before I get into my next little bonus tip is, who here has professional business cards? Maybe you design them by yourself. Maybe you you had a professional graphic designer create them. Again, maybe you create them on Canva, whatever else. Who here has professional business cards? Hopefully most of you do, right? Well, my bonus secret for you guys is stop handing out business cards. I know I kind of walked you into that trap. You guys might be saying like, what the heck, Ben? You're full of it. Why the heck would you ask or say something absurd like that to stop handing out business cards? Well, let me ask you this. Be honest and like truly unbiased here, okay? When you're handed a business card from someone else, right? Maybe it's at an event, maybe it's out and about, maybe it's at a chamber of commerce mixer or wedding industry mixer, right? When you get these business cards, what do you usually do with them? Where do they usually end up? Some of you, it's in the back of the car. Maybe it's in your suitcase. Maybe it's in your wallet that you never really check again, or in the bottom of a drawer that you never check again. Or sadly, a lot of you won't admit this, publicly, but a lot of you, they end up in the trash, right? So guess what's happening with your business cards? People will accept them gladly because nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings, right? Like to be politically correct and just be a nice person. Oh, thank you so much for the business card. Yeah, I appreciate that. They put it in their pocket, their purse, they go home, ends up in the trash can or at a bottom of a drawer that they never see again, right? So how can we flip that around where they actually value getting in contact with you? So instead of handing out business cards, what I encourage you to do instead is actually start handing out gift cards instead. Okay. So I've got a gift card right here. This is what ours looks like. I'll show you a screen right here. Think about this. What do you do with a gift card? One is when you receive gift cards, usually on one of the most favorite parts of, days of your life, right? Either a holiday like Christmas or an anniversary or a birthday, right? And when you receive these gift cards, what do you usually do with them? Do they end up in the trash? No. Even if you end up not using them, you end up regifting it. Or, which by the way, if a person regifts your gift card to someone, guess what that ends up becoming? A referral, which is nice, right? And in addition to that, you value it as good as cash. It's not a coupon. It's not 30% off. It's an actual dollar amount, cash value, right? So they actually look at this as, if this ends up in the dumpster or at the bottom of the drawer, I'm literally throwing money away. So they value it a lot more because of it. Okay. So I'd encourage you to actually create these. You can simply hire a designer on Fiverr.com, freelancer.com, right? Or go on Canva, design one up yourself. Okay. Simply make it look like, like a gift card. So put your logo on there, put a special gift for you, the dollar amount. We just do $100, and then your website and contact information, right? On the backside, it has, some text there where it says, expires by X date, right? So we usually make these expire within a year, which gets a person to, take action quicker than not. And then on the bottom of the card here, there is some small text, right? The fine print, which is saying essentially you can't double up these with a discount, right? If there's a special promotion you're running, maybe Black Friday is right around the corner. So you don't want to have them double up a gift card plus a Black Friday deal, right? So it can't be added up like that. It can only be used towards one service and only for a new client coming in. It can't be used for a returning client. So if they've already booked you for their wedding, they can't use this to pay off their remaining balance. They can only, only a new client can use this towards their initial retainer fee or booking fee, right? So that's the way to look at that. So that protects you against you being taken advantage of, right? So, and then we have a little promo code. So if you have a CRM, that's pretty awesome. Like Profit Flow, for instance, we have it where you can set up custom coupon codes, and we don't call them coupon codes. We call them gift card codes, right? And when the person hands that over to us over the phone, or, as they sign their agreement, when they take care of the payment, they can plug in that gift card code, and then it reduces the balance for them. Little trick, by the way, inflation on average goes up 3 to 4% a year. Okay. Meaning that like the spending power of your dollar, right, only goes so far. And every year it reduces by 3 to 4%. Okay. As you know, post COVID, I mean, it skyrocketed to like 8 to 14%, depending on an industry. I think real estate was like 15 to 50%, which is crazy, right? But everybody felt like the whole squeeze of everything at the grocery store felt more expensive, and so forth. So that being said, like you should already be raising your prices at minimum by 3 to 4% to keep up with inflation, meaning that the same dollars that you're receiving, those become less effective when it comes to the purchasing power. So to keep up with inflation, you just want to make sure that you keep up with it by increasing your rates on average at least 3 to 4% a year, right? But what I'd encourage you to do is maybe throw out another $100 in. So that way now when they cash in these gift cards, boom, you give a $100 discount and you're still walking away with the same amount. Okay. So there's no margin lost, if that makes sense. Okay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know that's something that's like pretty mind blowing to most people. So hopefully this is something that you guys can do. Now, a little tip on how to design these. What you want to do is you want to use like a printer like Vistaprint or any other business card printer out there. You got to make sure that it's a printer that can print plastic business cards. So it's literally just a business card printing. You choose the material instead of cardboard or paper, it's plastic. And then you add the little corner rounding add-on, and boom, just like that, you have a gift card that actually feels like a store-bought gift card. Okay, which is super cool. Another little secret is after every event that we perform for, we have our staff write a handwritten thank you card. And we then, with double-sided tape, we just paste one of these gift cards in there for for our clients to refer someone else by hand this gift card. Now think about what happens there. So when they actually hand this gift card to someone else, maybe another friend that's getting married, right? Guess what it does for the person handing the gift card, right? There's actual social currency that's being exchanged where you're helping them look good in front of another person. So a person's actually a lot happier to refer because it makes them look like the hero. Okay. Let me share a really quick story. So I was speaking at a local college back in California, and there was another speaker actually at this conference that, it was like a big college campus, right? So we were parked in one area and a shuttle had to take us all the way to the venue where we were going to speak at, right? And I happened to sit next to this lady who happened to be a speaker also at this conference. And she recognized me. She's like, "Hey, you're Melissa's husband, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know who you are, but yeah." And she was like, "Oh, well, I happen to go to high school with your wife. And I just see your awesome, photos on social media and I recognize you." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." She's like, "As a matter of fact, you're a DJ, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And she's like, "Oh, well, I actually happen to be engaged. Do you have a business card on you?" And I was like, "Hey, I'll do you one better. Here, congratulations. Here's a $100 gift card." She literally, I kid you not, guys, she broke into tears out of gratitude. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't have to do that." She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so kind of you." And I was like, right? Like, you know what we're doing here, right? But this is the kind of effect that it can have on prospects and referrals. Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed that little over delivery bonus tip for you guys. Okay. The way that I want to close out this presentation is this. I don't know what you guys are going through. Okay. You might have suffered a divorce recently. You might have, you might be going through a health crisis. You might have loved someone, lost someone that you've loved. Your business might be upside down. Like your bank account might be in the negative. Things might be really rough right now. I'm here to tell you that like there's things that happen for us and there's things that happen to us. Okay. So when things happen to us, it's usually like a good result, right? Like something that happens. When it's a negative result, like again, going through hardship in life, a lot of times it's actually things that are happening for us. Okay. It's something that is happening on purpose for you to be formed into the next thing that, the higher powers are looking to call for you. Okay. So I'm here to tell you that if you've lost hope, if you are on the verge, because I get to share some real conversations with DJs, and a lot of you are on the verge of giving up, of like literally closing the doors of your entertainment companies, right? So I don't know what you're going through, but I'm here to tell you that there's a very specific reason why you were born and why you're on this earth. I hope you understand that. Okay. I don't know you, but I know for sure you exist for a reason. Otherwise, you wouldn't exist. Okay. I hope you understand that. Like, logically speaking, you're on this earth for a reason, and you just have to explore what that reason is. Okay. And there's been a very specific assignment placed on you and you only. Nobody else can fulfill that assignment except for you. Okay. The way that you are created, okay, the skill set, the mindset, their personality, and everything else, only you can fulfill that assignment. Nobody else can. So because of that, by definition, there is no competition. Okay. Because nobody can be you. There's only one of you. Right. So if you're losing hope right now, I just want you to be encouraged and reminded that you have an assignment that only you can fulfill, which means you already have an unfair advantage of completing that assignment. All you have to do is just dare to keep going. All you have to do is just dare to not give up, and just get up, lick your wounds, and keep moving forward. Okay. And as you do that, in hindsight, because hindsight is 2020, you'll quickly realize, oh my gosh, it's like by design, all this hardship had to happen to me in order for me to be in this place where I can help others, or I can do this, or I can do that, whatever it is. Okay. Let me give you a real life example. I am a child of adoption, right? So literally at 6 days old, straight out of the hospital, my parents were too young. They adopted me out. I was like literally just given away, right? I was then adopted into a family, and I had, first off, that family only stayed together for 4 years. They divorced. So at 4.5 years old, they divorced. Hardship happened, right? I then had a really, really strained relationship with my dad. And it was like verbal abuse, substance abuse, divorce, poverty. All those things were a part of my everyday life. Okay. And it felt unfair at that moment in time, back when I was younger, right? I was like, why is this happening to me? Like, man, I try to be a good kid. I try to do the right thing, and all these bad things continue to happen to me. By the way, I was trying to also excel in school. Like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, I didn't graduate from high school because I struggled academically. So here I felt like the stupid kid in class, trying to stay overtime, trying to hire tutors to try to get smarter. And no matter how hard I tried, it didn't work for me, right? I was dyslexic and I had all these issues, right? So by definition, I felt like I was the stupid kid, the unworthy kid, and everything else, right? Fast forward to today, I understand now why I had to go through those things when I was younger, because now I have a level of empathy for people that when they're in that position, I can quickly recognize it. I can have empathy, and I understand how to help them because I figured out how to dig myself out of it as well, right? I'm not self-made, by the way. I had other people along the journey helping me as well, right? Also, a higher power helped me along the way as well. So it's like, I'm not self-made. I had a lot of people that helped me. And because I also have the heart of, one, having empathy to help others, but two, how dare I not help someone else either, right? And that's the reason why I'm on this mission to help revolutionize the entire DJ industry, right? To help people who are passionate about DJing, who are awesome at rock and dance floors, but they just can't seem to figure out how to actually make this work financially. So not just for greedy sake, but just to sustain, to just keep the roof over their head, the lights on, to be able to replace the gear when it goes out and that kind of stuff, right? So I'm here just to remind you that you are enough. The way that you've been designed, you are enough. All you have to do is just keep going. Okay. So I just want everybody to make a commitment here. Okay. Let's all make a commitment to, one, never quit, to keep going no matter how hard it gets, because people rely on you to actually reach that level of success. So that way you can help people in the future. Okay. The couples that you serve, the events that you serve, they're relying on you to actually continue going. So that way their events can be serviced in the right way. And you can protect the marketplace from bad actors who screw people over. Right. And the final commitment is, let's commit to one another. I see way too much ego, way too much trolling inside of these Facebook groups online. Like, man, we all have the same thing in common. We all have this love for DJing, this love for wanting to create memories, this love for building a business and leaving a mark on this earth, right? Why are we hating on one another? Let's make a commitment to actually pull together as an industry and help one another up, right? Because a rising tide lifts all boats. There are way too many events for all of us to service, right? So instead of having a scarcity mindset of thinking that like, oh, there's not enough for anyone, for everybody to be fed, dude, there's plenty. If you do your research, just Google it or GPT it. How many weddings alone happen in my market? How many events happen alone that need a DJ in my market per year? And you'll quickly see way too many events, a lack of DJs. Okay. So you don't have to be this whole doggy dog world style person. You can help one another out and we can all win together. Okay. I'm going to get off my soapbox, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and attention. By the way, make sure to scan that QR code. Leave me real feedback. If I'm full of it, leave me a 1-star review. If I deserved it, and only if I deserved it, give me a 5-star review. Okay. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Ben Sean Herman, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you get a chance to follow Ben Sean Herman, definitely do it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. He's all over the place. And yeah, we certainly enjoyed having Ben Herman with us today. Also, just want to bring up a couple of things. First off, tomorrow, Tuesday, September 23rd, at 4 Point Saloon in Medina, we have ADJ out there. It's a free DJ meetup. I'm going to post a URL here for you guys to click on and get your free tickets to this event. There it is right there. Go ahead and sign up for the free DJ meetup. You also get complimentary pizza from 4 Point Saloon. And yeah, it looks like we got Ben back again. Somehow he got it.
Apologize. Yeah. I tried to stop sharing my screen.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
The room, so I apologize.
No. So yeah, attendees will get to meet Dean, the regional sales manager for ADJ. Will be demonstrating a series of different lights from ADJ and Eliminator, which are perfect for DJs. So that's gonna be tomorrow, 4 Point Saloon. We're gonna kick things off at 6 o'clock p.m. Central, with the presentation starting just about 7 o'clock. And of course, Casey will be there along with the rest of the team from the US DJN and the Marquee and the Chicago DJ Network Association. So yeah, Ben, before we go, I've got some rapid fire questions for you. Are you up to the challenge?
I love rapid fire questions. Let's go.
So I got 5. Can you do this in 1 minute or less? 5.
Let's do it.
Okay. Favorite track to drop at a wedding?
Oh my gosh, I can't even answer that anymore.
Okay, next. One artist you'd love to DJ for. Pressure.
That's tough, honestly.
All right, think about that. Your go-to gear or piece of software you absolutely cannot live without.
Selfishly, I'm going to say Profit Flow, but it's not because, we have it in our ecosystem. It's just, it literally runs the entire business, right? So I would say for anybody else, because I don't want to do a shameless plug, use a CRM, use your CRM. It's actually more important than your DJ software.
Fantastic. All right. Best business book or resource for DJs. I'm sure you're going to be biased and say.
I would say, honestly, Rich Dad Poor Dad right here has changed my life.
Sure.
That absolutely. One, this one right here also, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is another one. Great way to understand how to network and how to actually be a person that's a giver, not just a taker.
Got it. And last question, and we're going to come back to the other two, see if you can remember. Okay. This is my personal question to you, Ben. One piece of advice you would have given your 13-year-old self starting out.
I would say the same thing that I said earlier. Don't overthink it. Just take action.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, we did touch on that a little bit earlier. So let's go back to your past questions. Favorite track to drop at a wedding?
Man, I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't want to be cheesy because I feel like there's always these go-to tracks for all of us, right? Honestly, right now, I would say faith aside, I happen to be a Christian, but I just listen to a lot of faith music. Okay. So Forrest Frank is one of my favorites right now. So anything by Forrest Frank is something that I drop.
Fantastic. Definitely going to give that a listen. And yeah, lastly, one artist that you would love to DJ for. Who would you like to open for currently?
Honestly, I'd say Forrest Frank.
Oh,
yeah, he'd be legit.
There you have it. Oh, we got some applause coming up for you right now.
Ooh, love it.
So Ben, thank you so much for joining us at the United States Disc Jockey Network. Any last minute plugs? Anything you want to talk about? What's going on in your life currently?
No, I just say, feel free again to review my presentation, review.profitabledj.com. Would love to get your feedback. And I guess, were there any other questions that people had about the presentation at all?
You know what? I actually lost my comment section. So I don't know if you saw me. I was actually trying to keep up with my phone chat because I actually lost it on my end. But yeah, I didn't see anything coming up recently. But no, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, Brian, we certainly appreciate your time. And thank you so much for your presentation on maximizing your customer acquisition. And all the best of luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, USDJN, for having me.
All right. Take care.